everyone, this is Laura from the Vintage Key. Just want to show you a quick tutorial that I'm doing. I'm making some Easter tags for my friends. So instead of making them an Easter card, this is what I'm making, an Easter tag. And so it's really pretty. So there's just a close-up of it. It's a cute little vintage Easter image here. And these are my handmade flowers, which I make. And I will be having some of these sold on Etsy in different colors and stuff. So that's the handmade flower. Some leaves, some really pretty lace on the bottom. And you can see the music notes, but what you can't see, I don't know if you can see, it's actually crackled. I used crackle paint. And then music notes from Prima, a clear gem, garment pin, and some fibers. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how to put one of these together. So what I did, these are the other ones that I'm making. So what I did is, instead of using my tags, just because I wanted just a slight bit of a difference, what I did is I went ahead and cut some out of some white cardstock. So you can see it was white up top, but and then down here it's kind of just like a yellowish green color. So my chihuahua was walking in the door. She's scratching the door. But I cut this tag at a 3" by 6¼ So it's 3 by 6¼ That's the size of this tag. Now I'm not going to do any of the painting and stuff because it takes too long. So I'm just going to show you the process that I use. And let me show that to you up close. What I did is I took a white tag, cut it up, and then I spritzed it with this lemongrass, which is a beautiful color, really gorgeous. And then just heat that up, spritzed it on the front and on the back. On the back you can see it's not perfect, but it just gives like a nice glimmer. Once that dried, then I went ahead and I put warm lipstick on there, and that's crackle paint. So you just take that and you just paint it on, and then you let it dry, and then you take the rest of it and heat it with a heat gun, and the heat gun will finish crackling that. So there it is. So once that's all dry, then I take you want to use a permanent ink like StazOn or Archival. This is my black Archival ink. So I use that, and I use this Prima stamp, which is this music notes. So Easter's kind of fun because you've got pretty birds, and Easter music kind of goes together to me, so I use that stamp. So I just stamped that on there with the Archival black ink. Excuse me. And so you get that. So then I took my vintage photo and my little tool, dab that up, and then just ink the edges. And what I did is I didn't leave it like that because when you ink it, it's a little too dark. So what I did is I took a napkin and I spritzed it with water, and then I rubbed against the edge. So what it did is it kind of blended that into the paper, but it also left a really light vintage look. Now I don't know if you can see that, but it's just really, really light. And on here, I don't think you can see it, but when you see it in person, it just does like a little light border of distress around it. So it's really neat. So once that's done, then I take my Tim Holtz distressing tool and I go ahead and distress all around. So you get a nice distressed edge. And then of course put an eyelet in there with the crocodile. And then you get a nice tag. And see, I don't worry about the stamp not printing perfect in the middle. I'm okay with that. Not only that, because it's supposed to be a vintage, like shabby chic kind of tag, but other than that, the image is actually going to get placed on there, so I'm not really worried about it. So when I'm at this stage, I'll go ahead and I'll take it over. Put these off to the side here. So what we want to do first is go ahead, we want to apply our lace first. And what I did, this is lace that I actually bought at Joann's. It was $1.19 in the bin, and I think when I bought it, it was actually marked on clearance. I'm sorry, not at Joann's, at one of our fabric stores that we have here in Lakeland, Florida. That's where I bought it. I apologize. And it says $1.19, and I think I got it on clearance for like 90 cents or something like that. So I bought a lot of this. And there are 4 yards on here. So that was pretty cool. So what I'm going to do is just go ahead and just put that on here. Because this has lines from the music, I'm just going to follow the lines through. So I'm going to put glue right here on this first pink part. Then I'm going to put glue on the next pink part, and then on the next empty pink part. Okay? So let's go ahead and do that. I know this video is probably going to go over a little bit, but that's okay. So I've got my glue gun ready. And I use my glue gun for these projects because it just makes the gluing process go by like super fast. So I'm just going to take this and I'm just going to put it down. And when I put this lace down here, I'm going to go ahead and take it and just kind of scrunch it a little bit. And when you're scrunching it, you're just kind of giving it more of a ruffle. So I just scrunch that on there, you see. So I'm going to go ahead and just cut that off. Oops. Don't want to cut here. Okay, so that little piece didn't glue, so I'm going to just take glue gun and glue that down. Okay, so on here, you see I have a next pink empty line right here, so I'm going to go ahead and put glue on that line and glue my lace down there. Can you see where I ran the glue? Okay, so I'm going to put my lace on there. Again, because it's hot glue, you have to be careful with it not to burn your fingers. But once it's on there, again, I'm just kind of doing this little scrunching technique. And just kind of creates more of a ruffle. And kind of also looks a little bit fuller. So you're kind of like almost just fooling the eye. When I cut the lace, I kind of cut at an angle outwards so that you can get like a pretty ruffle. So you see in the back how it sticks out, but it does really pretty ruffle up front. So we're going to do one more line. And I just do 3 ruffles of lace because for me I think that's good enough, but you could go and do lots more if you want to. So that's where the next glue is at, on the next pink empty space. And so I'm just going to glue this down. So first I tap it down, and then again going back in and doing the little scrunching technique there. When you do this, you got to work really fast because the hot glue gun dries really, really quickly. So you want to make sure that you get that done. Alright, so I'm done with my lace. I'm putting that away. So this is what we got so far. And then here's this one. So at this time. So next thing what we want to do is we want to glue down our flower and our leaves. So this is the handmade flower that I made. So see that? Isn't that pretty? So we're going to do that. And then what I'm going to do, I've just got just 2 leaves here. And these are leaves that when I buy flowers at the store, I just take the leaves right off it and save them and use them. So for me, it's a lot better. I like doing that. I kind of get more for my money whenever I do that. I get more leaves and then I get, more flowers. So I'm just going to glue this down right here. And I want my leaf just to stick out just a little bit in the back, not too much. And then so my next one is just going to, so you see I've got that leaf? So I'm just going to angle this down so that my leaf looks like that. Okay, so just really simple. So just put glue behind your leaf. And I don't touch that part because these leaves are pretty thin and you can burn yourself. So I'm going to go ahead and just place that leaf right there. And then just tap it lightly. So you see I've got my leaves down. And now I'm going to hot glue my flower, and that's going to go right there. So I'm going to put lots of hot glue. And for this I put lots of hot glue on here because I want to make sure that this flower totally sticks on here. So I just find my spot that I want it. And then I just hold it down by the center where the stone is at, and then just press. And then just kind of press it. And the reason I do that is because I don't burn myself there because that stone's there for added protection. So I just hold that there and then just kind of look at it, take any glue strings away, and see you've had that part already built. Now because there's no glue behind a lot of this, well actually, see how that's coming apart from my leaf? I'm going to go ahead and just glue that over again. See that? The leaf came undone. So I'm just going to put more hot glue right there. Put that hot glue gun. If that happens, don't worry about it. I mean, you can fix it. Pretty simple. So I'm just gluing that back down. Again, just holding it with my finger. I believe I've passed my time already, but that's okay. I'm going to stop and then come back.